Right now, thousands of Americans are flying in a plane that has been grounded in most of the world. Dozens of airlines and countries have halted flights of Boeing 737 MAX jets after Sunday's crash that killed 157 people in Ethiopia. That crash, following a similar one in Indonesia last October, has many demanding flights be suspended. And today the president got involved. We are in Ethiopia, but first, here's Kris Van Cleave.
The Federal Aviation Administration is increasingly standing alone, allowing the 737 MAX to stay in the skies, at least for now. Almost by the hour, the list of countries grounding the airliner grew, including all of the European Union, as safety concerns mount. Nearly 250 of the roughly 370 737 MAX planes in service around the world have been pulled from use. That's prompted calls for action from lawmakers.
I'm advising members of my own family and friends they ought to change planes, change flights, change airlines, whatever they need to do to avoid flying on these 737 MAX 8s.
It makes sense to ground an aircraft that's been involved in two very tragic accidents in only 6 months.
President Trump, who could order the FAA to ground the planes, phoned Boeing's CEO this afternoon. He assured the president the planes were safe. Mr. Trump also tweeted, "Flying has become too complicated. Complexity creates danger," he wrote. While U.S. airlines continue to believe the 737 MAX is safe, two unions representing flight attendants urged they be grounded.
This is definitely through an abundance of caution for our flight attendants and for our passengers.
Tens of thousands of Americans fly the 737 MAX every day. 72 of the jets are used by U.S. airlines. In Dallas, Barbara King had just flown on one.
I want to get a different flight to fly back home on.
Federal regulators insist they lack enough information to order American, Southwest, and United to ground their MAX planes and are waiting for a preliminary readout from Ethiopian Airlines Flight 302's black boxes. That plane crashed shortly after takeoff Sunday, killing all 157 on board, under conditions eerily similar to a Lion Air MAX 8 that crashed off the coast of Indonesia in October, killing 189. Transportation Secretary Elaine Chao.
If an issue that affects safety is identified, the department and the FAA will not hesitate to take immediate and appropriate action.
Kris, I have to follow up on that. I mean, with so many countries, flight attendants, lawmakers all saying these planes should be grounded, why is the U.S. at this point so reluctant to do so?
Well, the FAA said late today they still have no evidence of a systemic issue with the 737 MAX, so they don't have a basis to order the grounding of the aircraft. Of course, they're still waiting for an update on what happened in this Ethiopia crash, so that could change. And the agency is feeling the mounting pressure from lawmakers and other politicians who are pushing the agency to ground the planes.
Leading to the question also, what's the basis to then keep them in the air? Kris Van Cleave, thanks very much.